Welcome. Today with me, I have Luxshan Ratnaravi, who's going to be joining us at Scrum Day 2024 on October 23rd in Madison, Wisconsin. I got to tell you, I'm thrilled to have you join us. I've been following
Happy to be there.
Thank you. I've been following Comic Agile for quite some time. I'm very excited about it. Can you first get us started by telling us a little about you? How did you get started with Comic Agile?
Yeah, well, I guess it was because I was frustrated. So I found myself in 2019, I think it was, in the middle of a safe transformation. You know what happens in those, right? And then I was a product owner, and all of a sudden I found myself, with all these extra layers of decision makers before, who I had to consult before even making decisions for my team. And I just got frustrated, I think. Then I saw some of my colleagues put up some comic strips about project management and how this whole agile thing doesn't work. I don't know who made it, but there was like one comic strip with how to build a rocket to go to the moon. Maybe you know it. But then it was totally it was totally misinterpreted. They didn't get the message in the comic strip. So I grabbed hold of my UXer from the team, Mikkel, who's my partner now in the thing we're doing, and he can draw and I write the comic strips. And then we just made a comic strip because what was mostly frustrating me uh, was all the dependencies that we had to other teams. During PI planning, it became pretty visual how many dependencies all the teams had. But that was a problem. So we wanted to kind of address that. We tried to address it, but everyone just drew the dependencies, but never really worked on removing them. So we thought, how can we get some attention around this? And we were kind of irritated because of the other comic strip, and then we made a comic strip about, maybe you want to show it. It's my favorite one. It's our first comic strip. It's like the first child, which is basically about the dependencies. There are so many dependencies at your first PI planning, and I didn't do it to be smart or anything, but it was just frustrating. And then people actually liked it. We hung them up near coffee machines and so on, and people really liked it. And we kept making more and more about the different roles. We started shooting a bit at some of the managers, and that's okay in Denmark, right? Because we have like a very flat hierarchy, and you're supposed to challenge your managers and so on. But we did it with humor, right? Tried even Facebook and Instagram. We wanted to be very popular on Instagram, but apparently our comic strip don't have enough cats and relationship issues, so it didn't really take off. So we tried on LinkedIn, and then it just exploded.
Oh
We
yeah.
made one where we kind of drew the stereotypical Scrum Master. We want someone who's like really good, has battle scars and everything. We want this He-Man like Scrum Master to fix all our problems. But the one that management actually hires is kind of like a baby. And then because organizations don't really get what a real powerful, good Scrum Master is, so they think it's just someone who can call in for meetings. And now it's become, I have to do it. If I don't do it, I'll die in this crazy world of agile, right? So the common denominator is that it's something that I'm frustrated about. So it's basically self-therapy, and it's kind of sad that the whole world can relate to it.
Well, I think it's brilliant. I think as you said, it points out the common things that a lot of us have experienced, and that's where the power of it comes from. And I think it's enlightening because it's pointing out, no, this isn't the right way. This is
Mm.
not the right way to do things. Let's rethink this. And so
Yeah.
that's where I think the power of it comes. It's really exposing myths and misconceptions about agile in sort of a funny way. Sometimes a bit of dark humor in there as well. I really
Yeah.
enjoy the ones where you pick on some things that I've experienced, and I'm also very passionate about that dependencies one,
Yeah.
because it is something that really holds back value delivery for a lot of us. And
Yes.
as you said, we want to identify those dependencies, yes, but also we need to solve them. It's not enough
I
just
think
to
it
find them.
represents what was actually wrong with everything, or not everything. A big part of what's wrong with Agile right now, I think it's people are treating symptoms,
Mhm.
i.e., dependencies, for instance, but by trying to solve this, treat the symptoms instead of the root cause. Adopting a framework will never get your dependencies to go away, but they'll just, be treated with overhead.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. You can't scale your way out of this. You've got to take a step back and say, "Oh, do we have the right products? Have we really brought together a truly cross functional team?" You can't just
mm,
layer a scaling framework on top of that and call it good. You really
yeah.
need to look at, as you said, the root cause of the problem is, do we have the products defined correctly?
Exactly, and it's kind of the same thing. I know we shoot a lot at safe because there's some misconceptions of safe, and it's just easy to shoot at safe. But any framework, right? Even team topologies, then you categorize your teams, but you still have the dependencies between the teams, right? So,
Can you tell us a little bit about the workshop that you're going to be doing at Scrum Day in Madison?
so what the participants in the workshop will experience is they'll be in mixed groups of people they probably don't know, and they'll have to identify a common agile pain that they experience in their daily lives. So they have to agree on that, and then I'll teach them the format of our comic strips, the 4 panel ones, where they'll learn basically to tell a story through 4 pictures, build in a punchline and exaggeration, all this stuff, and using humor to tell the story of what's not working in the way that we do. It's not a drawing course. You don't need to be able to draw. It's a storytelling course, right? So it's going to be very simple, stick figures and so on. And what people will get out of it is the thinking behind writing comic strips, the thinking behind what to look at to find good stories to tell through comic strips, and hopefully they can go back to their real lives and their real jobs, and start using humor to address the things they have, right? So
Yeah.
looking very forward to it.
Well, at least it'll give them a little team therapy, if nothing else, right?
Yes, yes, hopefully, yes,
I hope
yes,
so. I think it'd make a great retrospective activity. And it's a way to shed light on things that are really troubling the teams. And
yes,
hopefully the first step is to identify it. And then the second step will be to figure out how to solve it.
exactly. And I'll spend some time also showing some of our most effective comic strips, effective meaning the most popular ones, the widely shared ones, and try to tell the stories about those strips, what to take away from them, how to avoid the situation, and so on. So they'll see some of ours and then make their own.
So how can people check out more of your comics?
There are many ways, right? We have made a couple of books. Just search for Comic Agile, and then you can find our 2 books, comicagile.net. We have all our strips freely available on our homepage, where you can also book us for talks and workshops and courses and whatnot.
I'm looking forward to seeing you at Scrum Day, and I'm looking forward to taking part in your workshop. It sounds extremely exciting,
Do you promise
extremely
to
engaging.
participate?
Oh yeah, I definitely will.
Oh,
I'll be
good.
there.
I thought you'd be busy, running around and having everything run
I'm probably
smoothly.
going to need a little bit of a break to do some drawing, some anger drawing, perhaps. By that point, no, just kidding.
That's good.
I'll probably need a little bit of a break by that time. So, well, I'm
Good.
looking forward to it, and thank you so much for coming to Scrum Day 2024 in Madison, Wisconsin. For those of you who are interested in getting tickets to Scrum Day, please visit our website at www.scrumday.org or follow Comic Agile on LinkedIn. Thanks very much, and we'll talk to you soon.